All right, good afternoon, everybody, and happy Wednesday. It has been a beautiful start to our week so far, other than the fact that we have had a little bit of heat out there at times. Of course, temperatures did rise up into the 90s yesterday. We have 90s again for today, and that's going to be the story as we make our way into Thursday as well for the first day of fall. Of course, today is the last day of summer. It feels like it. Temperatures rising all the way up into the lower 90s today. The 11 Alive app, if you have it in your back pocket, can give you updates on the forecast whenever you're on the go. Again, 93 there is what we're expecting as we head into this afternoon. You can get live looks at the radar, which doesn't have any rain on it for today. Will be dry, unlike yesterday where we had that little bit of shower activity. You can send in your weather wow moments and even watch the newscast live. So let's take a look at how Wednesday started off. Of course, we do these updates every Wednesday, but you can watch them any day of the week. It's a way that we can give you updates all the way through the weekend and into the early part of next week. That way you can kind of get things ready for your weekend ahead. Here's a look at the time lapse that we had for Wednesday morning. It was beautiful. Our last day of summer, a stunning sunrise, a lot of blue sky overhead. We do have a few clouds that are popping up here and there, but nothing too menacing. Again, not expecting any rain today. Just a mostly sunny sky out there. Beautiful conditions. As of 12:47 in the afternoon on Wednesday, it's 88 degrees. Feels like 89. A little bit on the humid side out there, but that will be changing soon. I do want to show what Blue Ridge looks like as well. We're going to be talking about those who want to do a little bit of leaf peeping, the fall foliage outlook as we head throughout these next few weeks. Notice the colors already, or the leaf colors already changing a little bit up there towards Blue Ridge and some of the trees. Down towards Noonan, though, they still have a little bit of time. They have not been as cool more recently, especially for today on Wednesday, where they're expected to rise all the way up into the 90s for highs. So over the next couple of days, things are going to change a little bit. Notice for today, again, this afternoon, showing temperatures into the 90s, that again for Wednesday, moving into Thursday morning, starting off warm and humid. You notice temperatures sitting in the 60s and 70s, clear sky overhead. Moving into the afternoon, a spotty shower here and there, just about a 10% chance for an isolated shower or two. Notice the wind starting to change a little bit more out of the north. We are going to get cooler and drier air in here, and you see the temperatures dropping down into the 50s in many spots by the time we start off Friday. 43 possibly in Blairsville. A nice cool start to the day. We only rise into the 80s for the afternoon on Friday. So 93 for Wednesday, 94 for Thursday. This weekend looking beautiful. That maybe head up to the mountains, check out some wineries, maybe even some pumpkin patches. Maybe a little too early for that. But still, it's going to be nice out there. 82 for the high Friday, 83 for Saturday. That's right where we should be this time of year. 87 on Sunday, so warming up just a little bit, but don't worry, we're going to see those temperatures knock right back down. So we're at 57 days of hitting 90 degrees so far in Atlanta this year. 47 is the average. We are above average. Looks like we'll have that number hit 59 by the end of this week. And after we get through tomorrow, hitting 90 degrees on Thursday, that may be the last day that we hit 90 degrees this year. I say that because the latest we've ever hit 90 degrees in Atlanta was October 9th, in a calendar year that is, October 9th back in 1941. Now in 2019 we did hit it on October 4th. 2017 we hit it September 28th, but that just lets you know it's not as common for us to be hitting 90 degrees this time of year, so we may be wrapping up these 90 degrees here over the next week, or maybe even over the next couple of days. Meaning that cooler air is about ready to start making its way back here into North Georgia, which means, of course, those leaves start changing colors. So if you're planning to go up into the mountains to see some of those leaves changing colors, notice by September 27th, may start to see a lot more of the partial foliage starting to change colors there into far North Georgia. It becomes a little bit more near peak by the time we get to October 4th. That's going to be, again, closer on to the North Carolina state line. We start to see the Atlanta area becoming more partial with the leaves changing colors by the time we get to October 11th. And then by October 18th, we'll be getting near peak, at peak for the mountains there by the time we get into October 18th. And by October 25th, the Atlanta area should be seeing the peak for the leaves changing colors. And then we'll be past peak by the time we head into the middle of November. So be ready to get those cameras out, taking photos of those leaves changing colors. And then, of course, we all have to head outside. We have to rake up all those leaves ourselves, right? Here's your 7-day forecast showing that as we head into tomorrow, the first day of fall, going to be hot out there, 94 degrees for the high. By Friday, the first, I guess you could say first full day of fall, 82 for the high and 11 on the wazometer. Same thing for Saturday. A beautiful weekend for any outdoor events. If you have the weekend off, it is going to be great weather to go out to some of those farmers markets. If you headed out to a baseball game, anything that you may have going on, checking out some of the parks, the bike trails, it's just going to be great weather for it. For Sunday, going to have another beautiful day, but it is going to be a little bit warmer, 20% chance for rain. Most of us will miss out on that shower activity though. Monday and Tuesday both coming in with 50s and 60s for lows, 80s for highs. Going to be a beautiful weekend ahead of us. Now, not a lot of rain over this next week. That's the only downside. Over the next 7 days, we're going to have less than 1/4 of an inch of rain for everybody. A lot of us may make it through this next week without a drop of rain. Remember, we only have that one day with a 20% chance. We also have a few days sprinkled in there with a 10% chance or less of rain. That doesn't show up on the 7-day forecast. Remember, for tomorrow, we actually have, on Thursday that is, we have a 10% chance or less for rainfall. So don't be surprised by a brief shower, but much of us, again, going to make it throughout this next week with little to no rainfall. We've only picked up just under an inch for rain so far this September. And so it's been a little bit drier compared to what we had in August, where we had more than 6 3/4 of an inch of rain. That just lets you know it was a very wet August, and we've been a little bit more on the drier side here for September. But we are still ahead for the year in Atlanta, thanks to the fact that we have had so many above average months. The 8 to 14 day outlook looking beyond this next 7 days. So we're looking now into the very end of September, early October, showing above average rainfall being possible. That could even be coming from the possibility of a tropical system. It's possible. Again, we're still a little bit too far out to be too concerned by it, but something we're going to talk about here in just a moment. And then the 8 to 14 day outlook showing that we could be having around average temperatures this time of year, which would be lower 80s for highs. So we hinted at it just a moment ago that we are tracking a lot of stuff out there in the tropics. Before we get into possible developments, let's talk about what's active as of Wednesday afternoon. This is the 2 p.m. advisory from the National Hurricane Center on Hurricane Fiona. 130-mile-per-hour sustained winds. That lets us know it's a Category 4 hurricane as it's pulling away from the Turks and Caicos. Did some damage there, did some damage down in the Dominican Republic and into Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico's main issue was all the heavy rain that they dealt with, a ton of rainfall in a short period of time. Thankfully, though, the rain has ended there. Hopefully, they can start to clean up a little bit after all their damage. Category 4 hurricane expected to keep its strength all the way up even past Bermuda. You notice that it's forecast to pass just to the west of Bermuda, but you notice there's a little pink outlining there around the country itself. It does have a hurricane watch in place. The storm will be passing by there Thursday night into Friday morning. We'll be keeping a close eye on that. Doesn't look like the storm will have much of an impact on the U.S. other than creating some higher surf, but they could end up with a lot of storm surge and some storm issues up towards Nova Scotia. So after this storm gets well off to the north there in the northern Atlantic, the storm could be causing a little bit of concerns for some of the neighbors of the United States there, but again, should not be too much of a concern for us. As far as the spaghetti models are concerned, much of them showing the storm, again, taking that same path as what the cone was showing. You see this one that's just a straight line. That's actually just what would happen if the storm kept on the same path that it's on right now, but it's not forecast to do that. So again, it's much more likely that it will be taking these little bit of curves. That one weather model is just taking into account that it's traveling at that direction at the moment. So looking at Tropical Storm Gaston, we have 65 mile per hour sustained winds, 75 mile per hour gusts. It's way out there in the northern Atlantic. It's not expected to be an issue for us. We'll just continue to keep you updated on it though and keep an eye on it. We do have a high chance for tropical development. This is an area that's a little bit more needs a little more attention, I would say. High chance for tropical development closer on to the Lesser Antilles. This is going to brush across the northern portion of South America and then move into the Caribbean. It's forecast to kind of move into the Caribbean, end up in an area that's a little bit more favorable for development, and then it could possibly end up in the Gulf. It's too early to pin down if it will form into anything, if it's going to possibly impact us. I think that if it does end up in the Gulf of Mexico, it could very well likely impact portions of the United States Gulf Coast. Something we're going to have to watch closely. Again, we are more than a week away from that, though. Something to stay informed about as we head throughout the next couple of weeks. Way out into the central Atlantic, there's also an area that has a low chance for tropical development. Really no concern there. Something we'll keep you updated on, though, and then a medium chance for tropical development off the coast of Africa. Not going to be an impact for us, but something, again, to keep an eye on. So we've added a few more names to knock off of our list for the 2022 season. Fiona, Gaston, I believe it's Hermine that would be the next named storm. I may be pronouncing that just a little bit off, but I believe it's Hermine. And then Ian would be the next named system. So again, this is just past the peak of hurricane season. The peak, climatological peak, is September 10th. Moving into the end of the season ends on November 30th. So the next couple of weeks here, we're still kind of in that time frame of the peak. We still could end up having a few more named storms that we'll, of course, continue to keep you updated on. Looking at the weekend getaways, maybe you want to head down to the beach this weekend. Heading over to maybe the South Carolina beach, please keep in mind that there could be stronger rip currents. I know that it looks like the hurricane's way out there, but that hurricane Hurricane Fiona can still very much impact the surf there on the East Coast. Please be careful and check the beach conditions before you go out into the water. Check the coastal conditions, stay safe. That also goes if you're headed down maybe closer on towards Savannah, maybe you're headed down to the beach closer on to there. Please be careful. If you're headed down to Destin, Destin should be fine. No tropical systems in the Gulf, and the water should be absolutely fine down there in Destin. Should be beautiful too. Temperatures into 90 degrees there for Friday. If you're thinking about taking those extra days off, if you're headed to Destin, do it. Saturday and Sunday looking stunning. And if you're headed up to the mountains, it's going to be nice. I mean, Gatlinburg only expecting a little bit of shower activity there on Sunday. Saturday looking stunning. Friday, just tons of sunshine out there and nice for Monday. So beautiful conditions up into the North Georgia mountains and then also into the Tennessee and North Carolina mountains to go along with it. So I hope you can get out there and enjoy some of the nice conditions that are going to be happening across the southeast. And if you're staying in Georgia, the Peach State outlook looking stunning as well. Lots of sunshine to go around the next few days. Again, it will be hot for Thursday, but Friday and Saturday looking nice. Finally, I always like to take a look at the Georgia State Park forecast. This is for Thursday. Going to be a little bit hot out there on most of the trails. Drink plenty of water if you're going to be out there. But if you plan on going to do some looking at some fall foliage this weekend, going to be a great weekend for it. Get out there, take some photos, send them in to us via that 11 Alive app or on the 11 Alive Storm Trackers Facebook page. We would love to take those photos in and then share them on air. Just love seeing those leaves change colors as we move into this time of year. So I'm going to bring back up the 7-day forecast, everybody. I hope that you have a wonderful week ahead. Again, we record these every Wednesday. We actually do them live. We're live at the moment as of 2:58 in the afternoon on Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we like to do these live, give everybody an update on what we have out there. Be sure to download the 11 Alive app on your Fire TV and Roku as well. We have that 11 Alive Plus app where you can get extra news and weather information right there at home. And then you can, of course, download the 11 Alive app to your phone so you can get those updates whenever you're on the go. Follow us on Facebook, like our page on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, all the social media platforms so you can keep up to date with what's going on in Atlanta and North Georgia as a whole, all throughout every day, every week. So we'll have another update for you next Wednesday. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll, of course, keep you updated on the tropics as well right here at 11 Alive.